Hello guys, I'm McBluffin, and today we got our first glimpse at the next project from Black Matter Studios. They are now called the Good Fun Company, which doesn't sound as cool, I'll be honest, but these guys are responsible for creating Hell Let Loose, one of the most awesome World War II shooters. Now, details are a little bit thin on the ground at the moment, but we do know some things, and we're going to go through everything that has been shown to us right now. There will be the trailer showing throughout, the screenshots that we've got so far, and then at the end I'll play the whole trailer for you to watch. And if you couldn't tell, I'm ill, so I might sound a little bit weird. I apologize in advance. But that aside, this is a very exciting time because Hell Let Loose filled with cinematic, tense, gory action, and now these guys are dipping their toes into a Napoleonic themed extraction shooter, PvPvE. Now it definitely looks a lot like Hunt Showdown. The similarities are impossible to ignore, but given its different setting, I think this is going to make some interesting gameplay. And that's not the only thing that's different. There is a whole host of different things that they are attaching to this extraction style shooter that I think might make this a contender for the top spot. So this is how the developers describe their game. A sinister plague has befallen war-torn Europe, unleashing unspeakable horrors. Step into heart-pounding darkness in Hunger, a masterful blend of first-person shooter, slasher, RPG, and horror gameplay set in the desolate ruins of Napoleonic Europe, otherwise known as the world after the end. As a survivor among the living, embark on a solitary journey or unite with allies in pairs or trios, navigating the perilous landscape haunted by monstrous beings spawned from the plague's wrath. The hunger, fortune, and adventure awaits those brave or foolish enough to venture out from the safety of the Chateau into the world after the end. Now that is fucking awesome. That sounds so friggin' cool. That's all I have to say about that. That's an incredible way to describe your game. Next up, find your place. In the unforgiving world after the end, your survival and prosperity are intertwined with the denizens of the Chateau. A broad array of quest givers, shopkeepers, stash keepers, bounty hunters, and other living. Completing quests and building your reputation broadens your access to new locations, abilities, characters, weapons, gear, and vital resources. So it sounds like there might be some kind of social hub where you can replenish your supplies and buy and sell the loot that you've managed to get out of the desolation, which sounds quite exciting. Instead of just having like a menu, maybe you actually have to walk around like a fortress and go to shops and sell things and barter and stuff like that. And that sounds quite interesting. I would be up for that element in that type of game. Now, something that I'm sure everyone's very excited about is the intense and brutal combat. Deliver fire with a rifle or pistol, or lob explosive glass grenades with an experimental hand mortar. When the ammunition runs dry, or the gap is closing too fast to reload, draw your axe or mace to enter lethal hand-to-hand combat. Hunger is built upon a mix of methodical and frenetic ranged and melee combat as you enter a deadly and brutal dance with both the hunger and other living who seek to take what is yours. Find and equip armor, bags, trinkets, medicines, weapons, and shields to ready yourself for the different environments and battles ahead. Now this sounds very exciting. Old-fashioned weaponry, flintlock pistols and rifles, and then having to resort to hand-to-hand combat. I'm genuinely getting a bit nervous at the idea of having to fight someone with like an axe, because from what I've discovered with my research is that it's got an actual hand-to-hand combat system. They've not just gone swish, 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 stab, stab, death, death. Like, it sounds like they've actually made a proper system for you to have combat fights with. They compared it to something like Mortal 2, I think, and Chivalry, which I've not played, but I've watched, and it gives me anxiety watching people play that. So that sounds terrifying and awesome all at the same time. Progress and build. While much of your equipment and weaponry may be lost, all experience contributes to progressing your living and their level. Each of the living has a set of unlockable, unique, passive, tactical, and ultimate ability, alongside deep and extremely customizable mastery trees. with more than 100 talents to choose from. Build your living for stealth and solo play by quieting your footsteps and lockpicking doors. Specialize for ranged combat by quickening your reload speed and increasing your weapon control. Sacrifice your lethality and support your party by repairing their armor and healing them. Survival is the only measure of success. So after a bit of digging, it sounds like the skill trees and the way you can build your character, or your living as they're calling them, it sounds very in-depth, and the way they're trying to make it is it encourages you to do certain things and to build them with certain objectives in mind. So that idea is really cool, that there's certain characters that have certain traits, but then you could personalize them in such a way that, you know, someone else will not have that build of that character. And that's just quite exciting, that possibility of you can tailor it so much to yourself. Like, that sounds very, very, very cool. The other thing I quite enjoyed was the idea of having a passive, a tactical, and an ultimate, which reminds me a lot of Apex Legends, which obviously every legend has a passive ability, their tactical, and then after a certain amount of time their ultimate, which is usually something quite powerful or devastating. So that would be quite interesting depending on what that is. I assume if you're some kind of support character, maybe you have an area of effect that heals everyone, or maybe barriers, or replenishes everyone's ammo somehow. Like, the possibilities just sound kind of endless, and I'm getting a bit excited at the possibilities that are coming up. So I'm hoping we get more game details very soon. Maybe. Then again, the planned release, I believe, is early 2025. So we got a bit of waiting, but hopefully they start sharing more and more gameplay. Hopefully we get some alphas. Hopefully they let me join in. That would be awesome. If you guys are listening, please give me a key. Now the last part. Explore the plague-torn landscape. Explore forests, villages, monasteries, citadels, mines, and more as you and other living attempt to explore and plunder the remains of the world after the end. That just sounds cool, man. And the fact that they keep calling it the world after the end, that's just metal. That's just metal as hell. Now, even though they've only released one trailer with a snippet of gameplay and some images, I'm already excited. I'll be honest, it looks outstanding. And it is on Unreal Engine 5, I believe. Not 100% confirmed, but I'm pretty sure I read on Reddit, one of the developers mentioned it being on Unreal Engine 5, so my PC is going to catch fire. So I have until 2025 to upgrade. And I can only assume the recommended specs are going to be horrific. Are you guys excited about this? Do you not care about extraction shooters? I barely dipped my toe into the genre. I like it a lot, but I've not been able to properly get into one, so this would be the perfect game for me to get stuck into. I've got a fair amount of faith in the devs from Hell Let Loose. They created one of my all-time favorite games, so I'm very excited to see what they can do with this quite unique genre. The setting is brilliant. I think that's such a good idea. So I will be covering this game. Any more updates that come out, I'm going to be making videos on it, posting links and stuff like that. The link to the Steam page will be down in the bottom. But if you do want to hear any more about this game or watch gameplay when it finally comes out, subscribe to the channel. Leave this video a like so it helps others find it, and it supports me more than you'll ever know. And yeah, join the Discord for a great little community of gamers and nerds. I will see you all in the next one. Here's the trailer.
Liberty, equality, fraternity, or death. The last, much the easiest to bestow. We knew that before the bacterium emptied the towns and cities. Before the herds were driven into the water, and houses burned so hot that the stone melted. Before the old order died. And now, you have come. And you bring with you a new order. possess the same gluttony that led to the end? I suspect we shall soon find out.